It's like I had that Trump chew toy for my dog, and that lady at Ollie's was getting pissed. She was just like, "You know these are gonna get destroyed." I'm like, "Uh-huh."
That's why we buy dog toys, essentially.
It's like not gonna put it in the fucking shadow box and like frame up this Trump dog toy. I'm so proud of Mr. President.
Look at this treat, but don't you touch it.
Yeah.
Don't you touch it.
Well, maybe if I put this behind the glass case, he won't get shot.
He's still probably gonna get shot.
He's gonna get shot.
I'm unloading the meat. 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 I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. I'm unloading the meat. Unloading the meat. Unloading the meat. Unloading the meat.
What's up, guys? New episode Unloading Meat with your host Jared Ralphie Allen. Yes, that's me, by the way. Spoiler alert. Give it up for the one, the only, Mr. Tyler Wick.
What's going on, buddy?
What up, dude?
Oh,
You're my favorite Wick besides John.
That's my stepdad, you know.
Oh, fuck?
Left for milk.
I am never fucking with his dog. Ever.
Left for milk, never came back, you know.
Okay, so from now on, the next time it's in the shop, you got to buy that skin in Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I suck at Fortnite, which you got to experience.
You're better than Miguel.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. There were so many times that I died and I had to spectate Miguel's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy would never shoot. He would just run around going,
like, hey, man, come revive us. I'm hiding.
yeah, I'm hiding in a bush. Also, how did he get in our game?
I have no idea. And
Who sent him the invite for our game?
I wasn't even on my tag.
It's
so
like 11 o'clock at night on a Friday night. The boys are playing Fortnite, and all of a sudden, Miguel Flores just pops in our chat and goes, hey, what's up, Jared?
that was the most shocking thing I've ever been a part. It was so weird, and he was just.
And then he joined our Fortnite
guys.
lobby. And then he joined our party.
That was such a shit show. A fun shit show,
Yeah.
but it was a shit show for sure. The best one, which I think you were spectating, is when me and Steven were playing duels.
Yep.
And Steven goes, Tyler, run. I made it 3 steps and got fucking murdered by like 12 people all at
And I
once.
was laughing because I was like, he goes, Tyler, run. And then he just leaves your ass and takes off.
Yeah.
And Tyler's like, where? Like,
I'm in a spot where I don't know. And then what I did was I ran into where the guns were and died immediately.
well, I will say the funniest shit happens. I'm an equal opportunity guy. Like, you guys came and play Fortnite. You guys told me to come play Warzone. I haven't played a Call of Duty since Black Ops 2.
Mhm.
I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it. I got $80. And Steven sent me the CD keys link, and he's like, bro, I can get it to you for $18. I was like, steal. Buy it. And as soon as I buy it, I put it in the chat. He goes, oh, that's the wrong one. You need to buy this one.
That's what I told him. He was like, here's the new one. I was like, that's not the new one, man.
And I was like, well, I no longer have $80, Steven, so I can't buy that one now.
Yeah, it was so bad. And like before that, when I was talking shit to them, I was like, I got Black Ops 3. Is that good? And they're like, that's not out yet. And I was like, oh, it's just the preview. My bad. And then I clicked the button. I'm like, I got Warzone 3. Because I'm an Xbox guy.
Yeah.
And I was playing on my brother's PlayStation so I could play with everybody.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, like, I haven't, like, so actually, I'll take that back. The last Call of Duty I played was World War II. I bought it on sale, and I only played one mode, and it was the best time I ever had for, like, a good solid 6 months. It was the fucking, what's it called? Prop hunt.
Mhm.
Prop hunt in Call of Duty is one of the funnest things you'll ever do.
Absolutely.
Especially with voice chat. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking fun. Yeah. If you don't know what that is, it's like they just turn your character into a random item that's in the game, like a box, a tire, a barrel,
A
cone, and you just gotta hide and walk in place as part of the scenery, and people have to fucking do like a hunt for you.
Do we dare? No way! We found their spawn! What's up? What's up, Style? You better not blow my cover, bro. This guy's in that house, just not doing anything. Oh, here he comes.
The whistling thing in that game, I did not figure that out, and I just kept whistling. I would die almost immediately. But my go-to was always Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
Zombies. Like I invested. At one point,
So you're a Randy Orton fan.
It was so bad. At one point, I was top 10 in the entire world
Damn.
in headshots. Now, I did get divorced from that marriage. And I put in that time, and I was like, babe, top 10 in the world. She's like, what do you win? I was like,
Bro, I have a similar story. I'm pretty
nothing.
much the same way with WoW.
Yeah.
My first wife and I met on World of Warcraft. And then I flew her up here, met her up here, moved her up here with her kid, and then we got divorced and stuff because when we started playing, the way that she played down in San Antonio was like her parents played, her sister played when they were on an army base in like Alaska, and so like all the family played WoW together to stay together. And then I moved her up here, and I'm in a fucking hardcore raiding guild, like going for world first and stuff like that. And we're staying up at night, like we have schedules. These are like 25-man raids and shit. And then all of a sudden she's like, I don't want to play WoW anymore. I'm kind of invested. Like, I have BlizzCon shit, bitch. I've been to the fucking thing.
I've played WoW one time. I was at my cocaine dealer's house and got into his stash and then found his computer.
Yeah.
And logged in, created my own character. I spent it was the South Park episode, essentially. I was just walking around killing pigs and stuff like that, just chopping down. I had no idea what I was doing.
The creepiest part of her family was her dad. Her dad would never play and actually fight people. He was a guy whose sole obsession was just working at the bank and building up stacks and stacks and stacks of inventory of every material and everything you could ever need in the game and being that for the family, like the provider.
I don't want to sound racist, but was he Jewish?
No,
any chance?
It's just a white dude that eventually tried to be a biker. It's like he fucked around on his wife, left her, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm in the Veterans Motorcycle Gang. But it's not a midlife crisis. Yeah, fuck you.
We have lots of those here in Oklahoma.
Fuck you, Jester. Anyway, yeah, they named him Jester. What a piece of shit.
Everyone's laughing at him behind his back.
Well, I know that, and it's like, you know, you wonder why I want nothing to do with that piece of shit family when it's like he cheated on his wife and then my wife cheated on me. It's like, oh, it runs in the family.
Yeah, it's sometimes
they're all fucking whores.
Sometimes it's in your blood.
Yeah,
you can't help it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, my first daughter's mixed. Like, it was like my first wife was Mexican, was Latina. And so my daughter's like, we had a similar story. Like, my daughter is mixed, and she just looks like she has a natural dark tan.
Right.
And so, growing up, she just never really even saw color or race or anything like that. And then like she was like 6 or 7 years old, and she's riding in the car with like her 100% Mexican grandma from like Mexico City, and like they were driving by like Lowe's or Home Depot, and she's like, look at all the Mexicans out.
Kids do say the darndest things. It's like, thank God the windows were up. Yeah, it's. They have
funny as shit. Funny as shit.
They listen to everything and they have no filter, and that's what it's like to have a child. Just it's a parrot that can walk around and eat all your dino nuggies. That's.
Well,
that's
I remember like her nanny was like, "You're Mexican," and she's like, "What?" She's like, "Yes."
A little self-realization there.
The closest I ever had to that is like, so Kevin Smith, I'm a big Kevin Smith guy.
Right.
He had this story of like, you know, he let his kid curse whenever they were growing up and stuff like a little bit. And he just kind of let, like, him and his wife had this idea of just let him curse, kind of figure the shit out. Like, we don't really mind it too much, but it's like, the kid was like, Harley Quinn, his daughter, was like 6, and they're in the back seat, and she just said shit. And they giggled at it. And you know how a kid, if you hear a giggle, they're going to go off on it. So then she was like, shit, bullshit, dog shit, cat shit. And every time she got a little, a laugh.
Test the waters a
yeah.
little bit.
And she did it like 40 times, and they're all just chuckling along in the front seats. And then all of a sudden, like, mom goes, Harley, do you know what shit means? And she goes, no. And she goes, it means poop. And Harley was just like, and never said shit again. And it was like a learning moment for her. Yeah. They let her test the waters, and they told her, she's like, oh, shit. Yeah.
There was one time with my son, I think he was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He was staying with my mom, and I went to go pick him up after I got off work.
Yeah.
And the first thing after the hey dad was, hey, Nana said fuck today. And we don't say fuck because we're not supposed to say fuck. And I was like, hey, bud, you just said it like 3 times, so maybe we just reel that in a little bit.
Your math doesn't check out.
He's
bud.
like, I didn't say it. I was saying that she said it. I'm like, yeah, you still.
Even if it's a quote.
I'm like, you still kind of said it.
You gotta go by like rap lyrics, fucking rules. Even if you're this complexion, watch saying the lyrics out loud.
Yeah, I still do DMX at karaoke if anyone wants to come watch.
Yeah.
I don't.
I just do West Side Story.
I want to.
I'm gonna bust out Hamilton. We'll take it back.
People like, what's happening here?
We're the realistic interpretation of Hamilton. We're taking it back from the whites.
This is ours, damn it.
We just cast Eminem as every role.
He's gonna say some things. He'll say some things.
What? My name is who? Alexander Hamilton.
And then slur.
Yeah.
Gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love it. That's one
Available now on Grindr.
One of my favorite things that happened to the internet.
It's just
this
their own
year.
podcast and blew up and like it's like a thing.
It's my favorite thing about that though is like she was just legitimately drunk one night with her friends, did an interview, blew up because of it, got famous, and then you have all of like the TikTokers and stuff. They're like, she has no talent. She didn't do anything to earn that. I'm like, you did this on your phone, and then you've got followers and make money. How are you any fucking different? None of you have talent, but you're entertaining.
Yeah.
Let her fucking do her thing. Who
Sometimes
cares?
it's the simplest things that's entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the innocent most things.
I'm a
And,
simple guy, simple pleasures.
and I'm just saying, I'm always entertained by Hawk Tua.
Yeah,
Always.
spit on that thing.
Yeah. As you can tell by the blow on Mohawk, ladies and gentlemen on Grindr, my name is Hawk Tua.
And he wants you to spit on that thing.
Dude, the amount of people that fucking just like reply to that to me, they're like, that one's a good one. And I'm like, okay, cool. You, eh? They're like, nah, I'm good. Oh, fucking faggot.
Damn it! Damn it!
The amount of times I call people faggot on Grindr is hilarious.
I'm unloading the meat. Unloading the meat. Unloading the meat.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite language learning app such as Duolingo, but it could be. It really could be. Guys, Duolingo is amazing, and if you don't take your lessons, nothing will happen to my family, right? Duolingo, please. Guys, please use the app, please. I miss my kids. I miss my kids.
I'm unloading the meat. Unloading the meat. Unloading the meat.
You've worked very hard in a short amount of time to establish yourself in a scene and trying to like feel like, hey, I belong.
Right.
And you do.
I
You're
appreciate
funny
that.
as shit. You're kind. You go out there for people. You've loaned money when people need it. Shit like that. Just be a helpful bro.
Right.
But like, that's all the scene needs is people more like that. And like, you try to 90% of the time steer people away from drama.
Yeah. I do have my moments where
I gotta give an error 10%. You know.
I'm an asshole sometimes, but you know, I've been doing it for it'll be a year, November 1st.
Yeah.
And when I came in, just kind of trying to absorb everything, absorb the scene, what's going on, I felt like there was kind of a fracture amongst everybody.
There is. Yeah.
There's the mic.
Yeah.
I felt like there was a fracture among everybody, and then I got brought into our little group by Juju.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have lots of great personalities in our group, and at the end of the day, I feel like everybody has the same goal. We want to promote ourselves. We want to promote the scene. We want to have more mics open. We want to do this.
Yes.
It's not something that we're just, yeah, we're doing it for fun. It's a part-time thing, but we all would love to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Have a more opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing is just using the skills I have from my other jobs, my people talking ability to try to open up the doors when I can, direct some of the knuckleheads from time to time.
Yeah.
I know I've been doing it for a short time, but we have some young guys in our
Yeah.
group, kind of take them under our wing and be like, hey, this is the direction. This is what's been told to me. I mean, Joe Bob McGinney is one of my favorite comedians in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And he's one of the people that when he gives me advice or gives me a tip,
I listen. You listen.
I'm not. Everyone else can shut the fuck up because what he has to say, if he takes time to talk to you about it,
Yeah.
it means something.
Yep.
And if I can ever convey that to somebody or give somebody a little tip that's going to help them, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, agreed. Like, if we're doing wrestling terms, this is our wrestling stable, and we have young boys,
Yeah, absolutely.
and we kind of show them the ropes. People coming in there. This is how it happens, and like, also, it's like, dude, you spearheaded getting this new mic started. We're a day before the debut of the Bull and the Bear, right?
I'm so fucking excited.
Bull and the Bear, right?
Bull and the Bear.
Bull and the Bear.
Tavern, 58th and Lewis.
Nice.
I am so fucking excited.
And that flyer, man, I'm just saying, it was designed by a master. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen,
This
if you need any
fucking
kind of
genius.
flyers or anything like that, you can tell I have a flair for it.
Oh, yeah.
I love getting into that shit.
yeah,
You give me an idea or something, like just give me something, and I just like to go high, go wild on it.
You're our version of Chat GBT.
Yeah.
We're just like, hey, do this, and
Yeah.
you put out money every single time.
I
and
try.
it's-
I never want to have a flyer show up on that fucking Facebook page. It's like bad comedy flyers, and like also I nothing against anybody, but like you can go past the 5 Canva templates that they have. Like you can pick something besides a red fucking curtain or a fucking brick wall.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing that I really appreciate about our group that we have going.
Trying to be
is
original.
Every one of us has a talent that's outside of the norm.
Yeah.
Everybody has something they're better at than somebody else, and we're really kind of coming together. And I feel like we can really spearhead a potential movement. We're not trying to take shit over. We're just trying to direct things in the right path.
Correct.
We're like, if like I'm weak on something, like I could put a flyer together. It's going to be on Microsoft Word, and I might have some wingdings on there, but you're good at that.
Hashtag wingdings.
That's right. Look it up.
Yeah.
When it came
Just
to
a screenshot of fucking the Clippy.
our names and wingdings,
Just has Clippy in the corner going, this is a fucked up flyer.
but when it came to trying to find a new bar for us to find a new mic on, everybody was like, "Oh, here's some ideas," and I was like, "Fuck it, I have no problem walking up to a complete stranger and selling us." I've done sales my entire life. It's what I've done since I was fucking 16 years old. I've done sales my entire life, so I was like, I can sell this.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I can sell what we're trying to do and what we can bring to their bar.
Yeah.
And first place I stopped, we got one. That was what my PTSD is from coming back in Bartlesville is I ran the AT&T store here for 2 years.
I was an assistant manager at that store.
Whenever I left that, not the corporate, the
the dealer.
I was the authorized dealer.
Oh, fuck. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And
The one that's now a Cricket?
that's why we left is because corporate came in.
Yeah.
And then after I left AT&T, I worked for Whirlpool. So I ran Sears in the mall
Yeah.
before it closed down.
Oh,
and then
shit.
Lowe's here was one of my biggest accounts.
So you're a Bartlesville guy.
Yeah,
Right.
I hate it. What is it about Bartlesville that's two different climates from Tulsa? So I bought a car here one time.
Yeah.
One of my first cars I ever bought on my own. I was so excited. And while I'm signing the paperwork, it starts snowing. And I lived in Owasso. By the time I got to Owasso, it was no longer any precipitation coming down at all. It was like 45 degrees. I was like, I just left a fucking snowstorm 45 minutes away, and now it's a complete. Did I leave the state? I was like, what is happening right now? That's one of the things. I had mad flashbacks whenever I got here.
It's also we've talked on the podcast, like Bartlesville's famous because of Max. There's that fucking show called We're Here that's about it's all about drag positivity and stuff, and they had 3 whole episodes talking about how like positive Tulsa stuff's becoming in Oklahoma, but how as soon as you go to Bartlesville they fucking hate drag people. There's 3 whole episodes on Max. They had Friday premieres 3 weeks in a row about how fucked up Bartlesville is.
Yeah, you guys have a bit of a stigma you need to work on.
It's so fucking bad.
At least you got good food here.
Yeah, we do.
I listened to your last podcast.
Yeah,
That
shout out
was-
Jared Gleaton. Jared
that
Gleaton was awesome.
It was amazing.
Well, like I want to talk to you about like I have a concept. My Unloading Meat presents roast battle. I do it unlike anybody else. I do a double elimination tournament. So that way insult attack. I hate that there's 5 jokes each. You may have 10 comedians in there or whatever. As soon as you lose one round, you're out and you basically just wasted 90 jokes or whatever. You're never going to get to go to those jokes because you lost one round. So my thing is an 8-person double elimination tournament. If you lose, you go to the loser's bracket, and if you keep winning, you can come back and be in the final.
And I think that's how you should do it, because that way whoever's coming in from that bracket has that chip on their shoulder.
Yes.
And the person that won their way through now has to worry about, all right, this person just put in a lot more work than I did.
But not only that, I booked it like a wrestling show, and it legit. I've done 2 of them. It legit works every time. It builds drama and tension in the crowd because crowds can get behind losers and roof them back up. It's happened each time.
Right.
Where they're like, I like Lynn K, even though she lost, I'm gonna keep going. Like, bring her back up, and they choose because it goes. I have judges, and if it gets to a tie, I have audience to be the tiebreaker, and so that actually helps them get into it. And then the winner gets $200.
That's awesome.
And then if I get sponsors, like the last one, I had another sponsor that was like, hey, I'll give you $75, and I'll put another $100 in there, so give second place $100. So I had $300 going out for prizes, and it's filmed, put on YouTube, and it had like 2,000 views.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So like that's an event, that's a whole thing. I want to basically go to like city to city and be like, book me, bring me to your city. I'll bring my camera crew and stuff. I'll film it and produce it and host it. get your 8 local comics, your best comics, and I'll promote them, and we'll do this, and then I'll put it up on my channel and promote your whole place.
Yeah.
I think that's a sellable concept.
Absolutely. That's a very easy sell in my idea. As
Yeah.
long as you find the right place.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be hard at all.
Yeah, that's all I need to do is find that venue.
I got
And-
you. I got you. We can do this. That's an easy sell. It was like this place we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're not making any money.
No.
We're coming in blind. And originally, whenever I talked to the owner, she gave us a guaranteed Wednesday night spot. But as you know, Wednesdays
Wednesdays.
in Tulsa is very saturated, and I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah.
So I was like, give me Monday. And then I hit my first roadblock of, that's my Monday night football night. That's where I make my money. And I said, I guarantee you, if you give me one chance to show you we can make more money than those 4 old white guys in the corner watching football, we're not going to disturb them. We might talk to them, but we're not going to bother your already money. We're going to bring you more. And she straight up said, bring it.
Yeah.
So we have a shot tomorrow, which if you're watching this now, we killed it.
Yes.
And we're going to be there every Monday. But it's going to give us a chance to really show what we can bring to the table. And it's just something different. It's
When you went the right way about it, you hit a good place, a good venue that sees your fucking vision,
Mhm.
giving you the chance, but also you're hosting it with Kyle, and you're having names there that are like good with the community, and people like know, oh, it's Kyle. Kyle hosts multiple mics
Yeah.
on the show, and so it's like you're doing the goodwill to try to get this started the right way.
It's one of those things that I'm shooting my shot, but I'm confident in what we're bringing to the table.
Yep.
That we can do good.
Yeah.
And having Kyle is a fucking godsend.
Yeah.
I love that kid.
I love that dude. Like
he's one of
we've
my
traveled the
favorite
road together, gone to shows in Stillwater, stuff back and forth, and like, dude, I love that dude to death.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite people. But I feel like having him, because he's kind of,
He's the funniest dude when he gets angry, though.
yeah, he's my baby Yoda.
Yeah.
He's helping me.
Dude, if you ever want to see the Lollipop Guild get pissed,
Yeah, I've seen it. I've had to hear about it individually from our group chat is giving him anxiety
I know.
and anger, but he is very helpful. He's kind of going to guide me through it because I've never hosted before.
Yeah.
I mean, they've asked me several times, like, hey, do you want to host? I'm like, I can't fucking read, and some of these names are off the wall.
just tag team it back and forth.
And that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna learn from Cellar Dweller with JB and Lacey, and we're gonna kind of try to mimic their style, which we appreciate. You guys are fucking legends.
Yep.
And kind of go from that. I feel like me and Kyle's back and forth that we already have is fantastic outside of comedy. So I really feel like we can.
I love
tackle
hosting when I did my shows because, like, for me personally, I like to have my little notebook out and, like, whoever's up, I'm just like writing little jokes about them and stuff like that, and just making it personal. That's all you do. Just a little riff. Just
That's all I'm gonna do.
improv. Just improv all night. Have fun.
That's
it.
I'm not going to do my own individual jokes in between sets. I'm going to talk about what you just said, or I'm going to make fun of the person that's about to come up.
Yeah.
That's just how.
If you can't pronounce their name, make fun of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's it.
Shout out to Fellatio.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, I learned that from Spencer Mills doing Keels.
Yeah.
It was just that's what he did. Is anytime I knew I was next up, I knew he's about to get up there and he's gonna talk shit about me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fucking because there's nothing personal. That's the thing about comedians that they need to learn is when someone talks shit about you in that mindset, they're not talking shit about you as a person. They're talking shit about you as a performer.
Yeah.
And it's lighthearted. It's fun.
Yeah.
We're all there for the same reason to make people laugh.
Well, it's like that's the way I look at it. It's like, you know, I love to roast. I love to improv. I love roasting. It's one of my all-time favorite things. I'm really good at it. I love improv. I love thinking on my feet, just snapping at it. I'm good at it. It's one of my all-time favorite things to do. And so, like, I hate to say it, but it's like, maybe it sounds like a dick, but, like, it's almost like a quote-unquote badge of honor if I give it to you. Like, if you're an open mic host, like, let's say JB and Lacey every Sunday. If I go there, I go out of my way into my sets to at least include one or two jokes about each of them that are fresh. Like, hey, give it up for JB. He looks like this or something like that. It's like I'm trying to show you respect. Like, hey, I went out of my way to write you a joke tonight because I respect you and, like, you're a peer.
Yeah.
And, like, they riff on it, they laugh on it because 90% of the time, if you're a host of an open mic, you're going through 20 names and you're trying to do all this different stuff. You're getting your beer. You're trying to go through who's next. And so occasionally, if you hear somebody say, hey, and JB did this, you go, huh? And then you're like, oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
You made their night. You had a good thing for them.
Yeah, when they host, they're putting in a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of effort. They got to run that clock.
I'm trying to show that I appreciate their time and effort.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to go out of my way to, like, do a little heckle, a little joke to be like, hey, there's JB and Lacey.
And everybody loves a good
Yeah.
roast. That I just did the roast of Isaiah Blue.
Yeah.
Which we're going to miss you, you fucking asshole. And I looked at the lineup. I'm obviously the newest person. None of them are gonna know
Yeah.
me. I barely knew most of them, and I was like, let me go first. I challenged myself to try to set the tone.
Yeah.
And I was nervous as shit, but I felt like it turned out great. It was a fantastic time.
So we
Very
have.
well-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying it was very well put on. I had no idea Landry was going to be there until 5 minutes before I went on, or I would have roasted the fuck out of him. I have the best Landry roast in my back pocket ready to go, but I had no idea he was going to be there. And so he was like,
Andrew would love it.
he was like, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. And I was like, all right, I'm going to lean on that. And
Yeah.
that's what I opened with. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sure you're all asking yourself who the fuck this guy is, and so are the people behind me. And
Yeah.
I was just like, let's get it.
Yeah.
And I was sitting out in the parking lot beforehand telling Joe Bob, I'm like, I'm nervous. He's like, don't be fucking nervous. Have fun. Have fun. Don't worry about what people think. Just have fun. And it helped.
I have a similar story to you with the roast thing because a year ago, yes, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. A year ago, I got back into comedy
Mhm.
when I started launching this and stuff. And one of my first big things was like February or March. I got invited to do the roast of Castro X and his wife Joe. Like they got married and they wanted to have like a roast afterwards at Tulsa Comedy Club. And they invited all their family and a whole bunch of comedians, and we were gonna roast them. They had their own seats and everything. The way it's set up, like I barely knew people. I had met Roscoe like a month before, and I got invited to all this stuff. We get there, and they have her sister go first as the family member, and then I follow her sister. And I don't know hardly any of these people, but I'm new, and I'm there with JB Watkins, Ethan Sandoval, I'm trying to think who else, Katie Style, Roscoe, Landry Miller was there. Like some heavy hitters are up there going roasting, and then I'm the one new guy. And I go up there, and I thought I held my own. I did pretty good. So like it's kind of like trial by fire.
Yeah.
Like sink or swim kind of thing. And
It's-
I love it.
I feel like, and that's the thing whenever a lot of people first start, is they hang on to like, oh, I didn't do good. I didn't do.
Yeah.
I've learned more from eating shit on a mic than I ever have. One of my favorite stories I always tell anybody is like, I'm new. My 4th time ever on stage, I was in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And I had the bright idea of doing an open mic on a Friday night at a bar in downtown Orlando.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was dumb on my part. And when I got there, I said, I'm going to let the local comedians go first. I went up number 26. So by the time I went up, everyone's shit-faced.
Yeah.
So I do my opening joke, I get a few chuckles, and then a fight breaks out right in the middle. And nowadays, if that was to happen, I'm going to commentate, I'm going to talk shit about what you're wearing. I'm going to fucking control the room. But instead, at this point, I just try to power through my material. I'm telling jokes at this volume and this cadence to a room of people that are fist fighting and not listening. The fight gets broken up. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's my chance to bring him back in. I start my next joke, and then a guy and a girl start fighting. And I just immediately jump to my closing line of my. I told my closing line of my joke without telling the lead up. I just went straight to the punchline, put the mic down, and walked the fuck out. Because
See, I think I know what your problem was. Is your walk-up song was 3 Days Grace, Let's Start a Riot.
oh no, I was out of my element, and I didn't know how to handle myself because I was like, I wrote this down, I practiced in my hotel, I'm gonna do it like this. You gotta fucking be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And now I would wish for that to fucking happen. Like at Cellar one time, this
Yeah.
kid just kept talking and kept talking and kept talking. A young black kid, but he had a poncho on and a cowboy hat. And he interrupted me for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
And I just stopped. I said, hey, man, why do you look like you're about to do a drive-by on a horse? It killed better than any joke
Yeah.
I've ever done in my entire life. And I was like, oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You have to fucking...
You connect.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I had to get out of my own head was like, I wrote it down. I got to go by this. You got to
Yeah.
adapt and kind of flow with it.
I'm guilty of it too. I get in my own head and try to think what joke comes next. What joke comes next? I gotta do this, and it's all about connecting, and it's a dance between you and the audience.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's just reciprocal. It's a yes and. It's an improvisation
Absolutely.
of the audience.
And that's how I started in
Yeah.
6th grade was doing duet improvs.
But
And-
I will say, you had the greatest instinct though. Whenever that fight broke out, and you said you got quiet,
Mhm.
that's a great instinct. Draw them back in.
Yeah.
Don't get loud and try to match it. You
Yeah.
can't. You can't out fucking fight a fight.
No, I got shut down because I went into white child mode. I
Yeah.
was like, Mom hit Dad, and I have to finish dinner.
But if you quiet down, and go Orange Cassidy,
Yeah.
they gotta go. Oh shit, we gotta pay attention.
Just sit there in silence and stare at everybody. But yeah, it was a great learning experience, and we've all had those moments where we go up on a stage with what we think is our hottest 5 minutes of all times, and you get no laughs. You just gotta fucking take it on the chin, go back, work harder, write more, do better.
So, I've told you my story. Like I was banned for a while. I stopped for like almost 14 years. Now it's 15. Oh, 16 now. Since I first started a long time ago. But at the time it was like 14 years I didn't do comedy. And then I saw Katie Style do an open mic at Tulsa Comedy Club on a Saturday. Went there, and it's 5 minutes each. My first time in 14 years. I am one of the last 3 comics I'm new. Right before she goes to announce the last 3 comments, she gets a note from the owner of the club, and she goes, "Really?" And she goes, "Okay, guys, unfortunately we're cut for time, so the next 3 comics only get 4 minutes each. Up next, Jared Ralphie Allen." And that was my first set in 14 years. And I just go, as I'm walking to my stage, I'm like, how do I cut off a minute of this?
Welcome back, motherfucker.
Yeah. And so that first set, basically the first 2 minutes is me bending myself over the stool, trying to give the differences between how me and my ex-wife gave blowjobs, as one is to do.
Yeah, it happens.
It went over well, but I got through it.
We've all been there.
But I got the jitters out, and I got through it. But yeah, that was an uncomfortable first experience.
It's I always kind of lean back on the very first time I ever performed. I had talked about it for years.
Yeah.
I had always said, I'm going to do it. Everyone's like, oh, you're funny. You should do stand-up. I talked about it. And my girlfriend now, which I thank you for this every single day, one day just said, either do it or shut the fuck up about it. So I went to Bricktown, and I was nervous as shit. But that second that mic hit my hand, it was just
Electricity or calm?
ready to go. Super calm. I mean, it was my first set. They weren't fantastic jokes, but I made it all the way through. Didn't have my phone in front of my face or anything like that. And I was like, once I got off stage, I was like, okay, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
And just try to grow from there. I mean, I have my moments where, like the other night at Ed's, I had a game plan and I flipped one joke and I fell apart.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, it's going to fucking happen until you're a seasoned veteran and you're doing shows on the road all the time.
Dude, even that, like I listen to YMH almost every week, and I'm a big Christina P fan, and she talks on her podcast like she pops in to fucking, like when she was getting ready for her last special, she'll pop in to fucking like the local tavern and stuff, like, open mics, and just try to do some time. And she's like, I've bombed.
Yeah.
She goes, I go out there and it's the first time, because like she's a mom of 2 kids, and she's like, first time I've been on a stage in like a year, and I go out there and do 15, 20 minutes and I bomb.
Yeah.
And like that's reassuring to hear.
Right.
Like she's been in it for 20 fucking years.
Yeah, and the other thing is you can't fucking hang your hat on. It's a fucking open mic.
Yes, it's just a gym.
It's a gym. We're here to fucking practice and get better.
Yeah.
If you suck at, like, I've done the same set on the same night, an hour apart at 2 different bars.
Yes.
One fucking murdered, and I said the same set, same inflection, same cadence, same delivery, and got one chuckle in the middle, which I know was for pity.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's fucking gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I've even said it before. I highly miss it. Sesh Lounge was a place last year.
The one time I was gonna go, they closed. Yep. Like I was looking forward to it, and then they closed.
There's a certain group of us that were in the scene that like knew how special Sesh Lounge was on Thursdays, and it really taught us a lot of things. So like, for around that time, it was basically Sunday Cellar, and then you would go Wednesdays and you do Looney Bin. This is even before Bricktown. So it was just Looney Bin and like Starlight and stuff and Hunt Club. And then you had Thursday Sesh. You could take this, what taught me was like, I could go Sunday and go Cellar and do that same set, but I'd have to adjust it on Thursday because at Cellar, or at Sesh, everybody's high as fuck. It's a lounge, everybody's baked. You have to adjust your timing, you have to adjust your fucking jokes and everything because you're adjusting for people that are kind of a little gone. And even the different jokes matter. Like, it taught you how to change your sets based on the venues. And, like, there's even, like, not that I have any clout. I have no ego about my stuff. I am a fucking fresh-faced comedian still. I have no ego. But I love to share, like, kind of helpful tips and stuff like that. And, like, if people want to listen. And I just say, like, man, you need to actually look at if you're at a bar, if you're at a club, if you're at a big show, a big theater, and adjust your set how you're going to do that. Because I'll do more crowd work at fucking Ed's because there's people at the bar I'm gonna fuck with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if I'm at Bricktown and there's 13 comedians doing an open mic and nobody's paying attention because they're looking at their fucking sets,
Like, when can I leave here?
yes, I'm like, well, who the fuck am I gonna crowd work on? One dude that's looking at me?
Yeah, it's one of those
Like-
things that you just kind of adapt to what's going on, and it's,
But at the same time, Bricktown and Looney Bin are super important because if you record there, you have a logo behind you, and if you get some laughs, that's some footage.
oh, absolutely. That's a great place to do like reels
Yes.
and like little small
Yes.
videos at.
If you see
Absolutely.
me at every club, I have my camera out no matter what.
Absolutely.
Every camera, I don't know what it is. No matter what show it is, I have my camera out because you never know when magic's going to happen.
Mhm.
It can be a reel, and it looks really impressive. Even if it's an open mic on a Wednesday in front of 13 comedians, if it has the Bricktown logo behind you and you get some laughs, that's a reel.
Ooh, you got a clip right there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
And that's
views.
how you have to get this to get booked and how to grow.
Yeah.
That's all. That's this business, and that's why I'm like, even when people are like, there's some people like comedians I hear like, I want to knock this club because it's just nothing but just open micers. There's no real crowd there. I'm like, adjust and do different stuff.
Yeah, well then get up on there and practice.
Yes, make it
It's-
work.
Work on your timing, work on your cadence, work
Yes.
on your delivery. It's fucking practice. I
Yes.
mean, you could perform for 4 people.
Yeah.
You're getting that extra mic time.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's all it is.
So just do it.
Quit being a fucking emo bitch about this stuff or a snob and just go to your gym and do the work.
Yeah.
Like and then do whatever you have, like bounce afterwards. Do whatever you need to do. Go get some tacos.
I've walked into a room where it was nothing but comedians that didn't like me based on who I was hanging out with. And I walked in there and fucking performed my ass off. And I got laughs from their friends, and that's all I need. It was like, hey, cool. I got my time in. I worked on my timing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing when I first started was, and it's so funny. My mom was the first person to bring it to me. She's like, "You talk too fast. You need to slow down." And I'm like, I'm doing it just fine. And now, almost a year in, when I look back, I'm like, next joke. I'm like, oh shit.
I do it too.
I'm not gonna tell her
I'm
she was.
fast.
I'm not gonna tell her she was right, but she was right
Yeah.
for sure. It happens.
Yeah.
So even if you're performing for a small group or people that are gonna fucking just give you the stink eye the whole time,
Yeah.
it gives you a chance to work on your timing.
Yeah. Just make it funny.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's just make it funny.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not hard. Just
No.
do. And for some of us, it is hard to be funny.
Yeah.
Just if you try hard enough, you could probably.
Especially if you have a view about how you're not supposed to wear shorts.
Get there. Yeah. I'm gonna wear shorts. I will never.
That
wear
was the funniest Sunday ever at Cellar.
dude.
That was the funniest fucking because I was sitting next to you, bro.
I
And
swear to
me and
God.
me and you shared a moment.
He was staring directly at us when he said it, and that was where my main issue derived from. Was the fact he was. If he would have been looking over here or over here, I
But
wouldn't
he
have
made
said.
eye contact with you, and then you looked at me, and I was like,
I was like, "What the fuck?" And I happened to be the next comedian up, so I said, "Me and my kneecaps would like for you to eat a bag of dicks."
And then, okay, so just to set the scene, we're not going to name anybody, but if you go to an open mic and you start talking about the comedy rule of how you can't wear shorts at a comedy show, and the host themselves is wearing shorts, and 80% of the people are wearing shorts because it's hot as fucking Oklahoma.
And we're in a fucking basement dive bar.
We're in
of
a
all
basement
places.
dive bar on a Sunday night. So, naturally, everybody's going to shit on you for making fun of shorts.
It was, and it spiraled out of control so quickly.
It led to one of my favorite jokes that I improv'd.
It birthed something amazing. My only issue is whenever I got cornered about it.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to go home. I just wanted to go home. And I got cornered. And
Show us on the Steam doll.
he did not pick up on the social cues of like, hey man, we're good. I said what I had to say. We were face to face in person. I was like, I have no hard feeling. I'm going to wear whatever. I'm a grown fucking man.
Yes.
I'm going to wear whatever. I'll show up in a goddamn Speedo. I don't give a shit. But I was like, I don't have any hard feelings. Everything I posted was trying to be funny.
Yes.
Hence, it's always, did it involve shorts? Was she wearing shorts? It's always a quick little,
Yeah.
not, hey, fuck you, shorts are the way of life.
Yeah.
It's a small thing. So it's like, I have no hostility towards you. I have no ill will towards you. And then he was like, well, that's how it came across. I was like, son of a bitch, I was trying to leave. Now we have to have a conversation. I was like, no, I don't give a shit. I don't make $1 million off this.
Yeah.
I don't invest all my time in Facebook. I was just trying to be funny. I don't give a shit what you got going on over here. I was just trying to make a joke, which is most of the shit that comes out of my mouth. I'm just trying to be
Well,
funny.
it's what we're supposed to be doing. And like
Yeah.
Preston Sly said it perfectly. He goes, stand-up comedy is an intersection between mental illness and imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And that's everybody in the scene is dealing with those things. And you gotta
fucking
kind of
nailed
like,
it.
you gotta fucking just like kind of manage it. And it's like, I'm sorry, but if you're at a comedy show or if you're in the comedy scene or anything happens in front of me, if I riff on it or I make a joke, I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
There's no, I hate you. There's no fucking like ulterior motive. It's just, bitch, I'm getting laughs.
Yep.
It's like anything past that, you can suck a back dicks.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go home and scribble it down in my dream journal. I don't give a shit.
It's out of my mind. I don't care. I'm just trying to get a laugh.
It's
Fatty, make a funny. Like,
it's one of those things that you can't fucking let it eat at you,
No!
or you're not gonna go anywhere.
no,
It's-
everybody in the scene is just so anxiety stricken. It's like, guys, just up your dosage, just make some funny ha-has.
Yeah, you're not gonna get boners anymore, but you might make some laughs.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a boner, you just won't come.
That's a PSA for
Yeah,
anxiety medications.
it's true. Yeah, I mean, it happens.
I-
I mean, you know,
I'm getting old, but my dick
times
still
get
kind of
tough.
works. They get tough, but they don't finish.
I feel so seen right now. I need to just have that just exclusive for Kyle
queued up.
because he's our dramatic chipmunk of the group.
I fucking love Kyle.
I love Kyle to death.
I love Kyle. And he takes all the short jokes in stride.
I know.
And then just comes out swinging for your kneecaps. I fucking
Well,
love
because
that
every
kid.
every short joke to Kyle is just hanging fruit. It's not low hanging fruit. It's just
Yeah,
just hanging
you know,
fruit.
it's fruit basically on the ground. It's like a tomato plant. It's just right there. And he takes it in
drags his
stride.
nuts.
And he just comes back swinging every
Yeah.
time. He doesn't give a shit. I fucking love it.
I love Kyle.
He's one of my favorites.
He dresses like a fucking like he just got off the Warp Tour, but he was like driving the fucking rape van behind him. Like,
He reminds me of they did 21 Jump Street in the 4th grade. Is what it is. He's for sure an undercover cop, but also he wants to make sure not to miss recess.
and radical.
Oh, he's fucking.
I love you,
man's
Kyle.
every- Kyle, you're my favorite. Can't wait to
He's
see you
somewhere
tomorrow.
on one of these posters. He's signed. He's been on the show.
Awesome.
I'm unloading the meat. Unloading the meat. I'm unloading the meat.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by a therapy app like BetterHelp, even though if you've checked my recent social media, you'd probably say I probably need an app like BetterHelp. So, if you want this fat ass to get into therapy again, reach out to your favorite sponsors. Tell them to hit me up. You know, I'm a 2-time survivor of suicide. Some would say a failure. Don't make me go for the hat trick. Get me sponsored.
I'm unloading the meat. Unloading the meat. I'm unloading the meat.
So technically, I didn't say it yesterday, but this works. So you know about my day job right now. I'm
Yes.
a Grubhubber.
Yeah. Are you making money right now?
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
So technically, legally, and 100% truthfully, I guess you could say that this episode is sponsored by Grubhub.
Thank you, Grubhub.
Thank you, Grubhub, because I'm on the clock right now. My house is right in the middle of the section, so I just get to sit home all day making podcasts, and you pay me the hourly rate.
Does that mean you can start writing off all this shit?
Yes, I already do. This is part of the set, dude.
Suck it, bitches.
And this Grubhub thing has worked out great, where I can just kind of just chill here and put my time and money into this.
One delivery every 3 days.
Because Grubhub is not big in Bartlesville at all. Everybody uses DoorDash.
I'm gonna go down the street and order and not pick it up.
And you go to Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A and they have those double lines and one's for mobile orders and one's for regular orders. You go there like 11 o'clock at night and the Taco Bell regular line is like wrapped around the building and the
Just
mobile order is like
Cruise
no
right
person.
by the
And I just
drunks,
drive run through and dude, I'll like get through there and I'm skipping like 20 cars and they're all pissed off at me and I'm just like, yeah, I'm semi-hard right now.
like, suck it, bitch.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is, but like just that satisfaction. I'm like, fuck yeah.
It's the same satisfaction as when someone speeds past you on the highway and then they're pulled over a mile
Yes,
down the road.
that's exactly it.
That's it right
Instant karma.
there. Yeah, suck it.
Yeah.
That's what you get. The universe is here.
I love
to
using
align
apps.
things.
I love using apps for fucking like if you're not using an app to order your your drive-through stuff nowadays, like you're just throwing away money most of the time.
Absolutely. Everybody's got a fucking discount for
Yeah.
everything.
Like especially like Sonic in Oklahoma, like all the drinks are half price. You get a whole bunch of different combos and stuff for sale. Like as a fat guy, I know.
I fucking love food.
Also, I've found as a dog owner now that there's a secret menu of like places that have like secret stuff for pets.
Mhm.
Like Sonic has pup cups,
Yeah.
and they just give you like a cup of whipped cream. Like, Starbucks has it. I think McDonald's has one.
Oh yeah, I think pretty much everybody. And some places have like, I've had times where my dog's in my car and I'll go through a drive-through and they're like, "Can I give your dog a bone?" I'm like,
Yeah.
What? And
Yeah.
it's for sure a dog biscuit right there by the window.
Yeah, I love it. And like, I don't know, man. Like, I got my orange car. I got the fucking pit bull, dude. It's ladies. I'm just gonna say, I have been catcalled more times in my car than anything, and it's fucking awkward. I got catcalled in a Wendy's drive-through by a Wendy's employee.
Yeah, hey, it works, man.
I drive my fucking orange Challenger through the drive-through, and this fucking Wendy's employee's like taking out the trash, and he walks by, and then he does a double back. He backs up. He goes, "Ooh, sexy."
See, I got catcalled.
And I was just like, "Yes, I'd like to get a Baconator."
See, I don't get that experience. I have a white Mercedes Benz, and when I got catcalled, it was by a homeless woman, and she called me a cracker. It hurt my soul. A little
I
bit.
have had two now though since I got Nyla, because like me and her go on road trips. I take her to Sonic and stuff all the time. Like if I want to go get drive-through, I'm like, "Hey, go in the front of your seat. We ride together." She's my ride or die bitch now.
Yeah.
And like, I'll have the windows down, and she's just hanging out. She's a good car dog.
Yeah.
And 2 times I've had bros roll down the window, and go, "That's a good-looking dog." And I'm like, "Yeah, she's such a bitch sometimes."
You should see my dick. You know, somebody's got to throw it out there. Let the world know.
It's just like, and then like I have a muscle car, right? But it's a V6. I have the V6. I have
First
the
off,
ST.
it's bright orange and it's still badass.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking hear it.
Well, I had the fucking Hemi Charger before that, and then it had horrible gas mileage. And like I told you, I was a district manager between 3 states, so I had to travel between Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana weekly. So I switched it out for a Challenger that got fucking 30-something miles to the gallon. That was V6, and that was my baby. Like I was in 2017, I bought a brand new 2017 Dodge Challenger. Felt fucking cool. But the amount of bros that every fucking time I'm at a gas station, a drive-through, anybody goes, "They got the Hemi in it?" And I go, "No, it's V6. They go,
Pussy.
yeah. And they're always fucking disappointed in me. I'm like, "It's not your car, dipshit. I don't care."
So the car I have now, I went to a dealership, and it was between that, which is a 2013. Fuck you, I paid for it myself.
Yeah.
And then a 2016. I think it was like a Kia Optima, but it had like lower miles, a little bit lower in price. And I sent it to my girlfriend, which she's a giant fucking car nerd. I love this woman. She used to have a fucking Scat Pack, Scatty with the fatty, and it was fucking manual.
Yeah.
She's a fucking car bro.
Yeah.
With nice tits.
Yeah.
I sent her those 2 vehicles, and she was like, "Ugh, that's a girl's car." And so I just came home with a Mercedes. Like, all right, what now?
Yeah.
Now I could drive a drug dealer car. What do you think about that?
Well, that was like all growing up, I was a big my first car was a '92 Mustang, like a 5.0, like the hatchback. And me and my dad built it and had Cobra parts in it. And I was the kid growing up that would go to the midnight drags in Owasso on the weekends. Like
It's right down the street.
had
from
a
my
fucking
house.
13-second Mustang, and I was just pop it up and take off. Love that car. Traded it in for an Explorer when I got first married and stuff. Which ironically, the Ford Explorer still had a 5.0 engine in it, and I was like, "That's fucking hilarious." And then like I had that for the family, and then I had like a little Scion. I gave up having like a sports car. As soon as got divorced with my first wife, she hated red cars. Traded that fucking car in for a fucking red Dodge Charger Hemi. And then I paid that off, and I traded that in for a V6 Challenger. And people give me shit like, "You traded a Hemi Charger for a fucking V6 Challenger?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, it's called gas money,
Yeah.
you fucking asshole.
And also, like, as much as I love the Charger, it didn't look like a sports car. It was a 4-door. 4-doors to me just can't be sports too much. It's like it never looked like a Charger.
Yeah.
And whereas the Challenger does look like an old school Challenger.
Oh, absolutely. And they look amazing. It's one of those things like when you look at the Trackhawk now, I see those and I'm like, why do you have that much horsepower in a fucking Jeep?
Yeah.
Like you're committing crimes, right? Like that's a felony vehicle. If you're driving that, you're up to felonious activities. The cops know. That's why when they pull you over, they're like, "Throw the keys out the fucking window. We're not going to chase you."
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, it's like I was a Ford guy Mustang guy growing up. I had, like I said, we built my own and stuff. And like, I don't know, just at a certain point, like around the time they went to the newer style, like the retro Mustangs, and stuff like the 05 and stuff, the insides are a lot smaller. And like Dodge, they're roomy, man. Like I'm a big dude. I can stretch out, and I'm big. But like in a Mustang, I'm like, oh god damn it.
Yeah. See, there were a couple Mustangs I look at, and I told my girl, and she was like, I refuse to date a pussy. So I was like, I can't have one of those.
What if it's a Shelby?
Nope. She's just, she's amazing. But
She's got standards.
She's a fucking asshole.
She's got standards, and she wants a guy that drives a standard.
Yeah, no, I'm an automatic bitch. I don't even care all day long. So now I drive a drug dealer car with super tinted windows. It's fun.
See, mine's an 8-speed automatic that you can switch over to the manual.
Mine does the whole like mode thing.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna use it, but
No.
the option's there.
Yeah. I'm a wrestling nerd. You can see like a lot of it filled out. So like all this shit that's fallen down, I just blame on this dog.
Yeah, it's her fault.
She knocks everything down with that fucking tail.
And
I'm
you're
a
like,
big Beast Mordos guy.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where you see him, you're like, oh, he's gonna be like one of those strong. He's a flippy motherfucker
Yes.
too. It's one of those.
For
weird
those who
things
don't know,
where-
they did a 2 out of 3 falls match between 2 luchadors, and it's fucking dope. They were doing things that I had never seen. And the triple threat match for the international title,
That's what I was gonna say.
Ospreay, Ricochet, and Takeshita.
Yeah, Osprey and Ricochet, anytime they're together,
Yeah.
it's just guaranteed money.
Somebody put the picture together. It was like that match last night, the triple threat WrestleDream between the Ospreay, Ricochet, and Takeshita was basically AEW's version of the TNA match back in Genesis of AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Like that one that kind of put those three on the map of like,
two flippies, one strong guy.
yeah,
and,
and it was for the X Division title, but it made all 3 of them like pop off,
and I think that was a great idea by AEW. Like I think
Yeah.
the way they executed that,
and they had
then
Takeshita get the title.
and then they have the Kyle Fletcher
Yep.
fucking turn. I hate Don Callis. If I ever see him in the street, I'm gonna kick him directly in the balls.
Did you notice the subtle thing with Fletcher, the storytelling that he's been doing for like the last year?
Mhm.
Every time he goes away and there's a heel turn or something like that, he comes back with more of his sleeve done.
Really?
He had last night when he makes it a thing. He came back all hooded and everything, took the mask off, then he took the jacket off, and he has like fresh ink in his sleeve still there. You can see, and like every time he comes back, he has more ink in the sleeve. He's getting slowly more darker.
That's awesome.
It's a fucking development. He's doing that little storytelling thing.
That's my favorite thing about wrestling is like the slow storytelling, and that's with I'm just a natural WWE guy.
Yeah.
It's what I grew up
Yeah.
watching back when it was WWE.
I mean, we all did.
Yeah, it's the way since Triple H has taken over, the way he slow burns his stories,
Yeah.
is just fucking phenomenal. Like the bloodline thing, from if you look at where it started to where it is now, that chunk in the middle was some of the best storytelling.
I love the Sammy stuff.
It was Sammy fucking saved that shit.
Yep.
Every time he'd make a character break, I fucking died.
Yep.
And then you look at now where they're at
Uzi.
with the direction of Jay, then bringing Jimmy back, which I was so excited for. Jimmy's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite people on the planet, and one of my
The
favorite.
biggest success out of everything is they made Jay and Jimmy individual characters for the first time in like 10 years.
They got their wish. They both have always said for the last 10, 15 years, the one thing they want is a WrestleMania match against each other. They did it. They successfully sent them both in their own direction. And now I kind of wonder, are they going to come back?
Can I give you this analogy and see if you think it's full thing? But I honestly feel this way. I felt this way for a long time.
Mhm.
I've always been an ROH guy and a long bag. You know, I love everything wrestling.
Right.
I've always envisioned the Usos as WWE's version of the Briscoes,
Mhm.
where
As long as one of them doesn't die.
I know, but if you know the Briscoes' history, is they were this multi-time tag team
Oh, yeah.
champions for years, and then they eventually separated and became world champions separate.
Mhm.
And then they come back and stuff, but they're still equally world champions,
Right.
individual names for themselves. Like Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe are completely separate people.
Oh, absolutely.
And WWE never did that with those. They were just like, for the longest time, you couldn't tell the difference between Jay and Jimmy,
Right.
which are not even the real names. But but now they can, and they finally
Right.
split, and it's like they're coming into that era where I think they're that kind of version of
Right.
it.
And I think that started whenever they pushed them in different directions. So when you see blue as Jay.
Yeah.
Red is Jimmy.
Yep.
And I think they did that on purpose. And I feel like
It's subliminal.
I would hope they would bring them back around, especially I don't know if you watched the most recent episode.
I'm not a WWE guy anymore. I'll
Okay.
catch the highlights occasionally and I'll follow along, but like I eventually just like I'm a full blown AEW guy and like New Japan and stuff like that. I respect WWE and I'll catch along. I like
Right.
people, but they lost me for a long time, and it's just like I'm more catered to like the AEW storytelling.
I got you. And this, and like I said, Triple H is cooking
Yeah.
right now with his story.
He is. I love it. I love Michaels. Like honestly,
Yeah,
you
NXT's fucking killing it right
Well,
now.
I have Ethan Page merch from his fucking toy vlogs in my closet. I love that guy to death, and I watched him. Like he's a huge inspiration for why I have this stuff and why I eventually want to do when we go city to city with with comedy, I want to do toy hunt vlogs with comedians.
I'm in.
And just go to like vendor stocks, stuff like that, and just chat.
Do you know the reason why I bought my first Funko Pop?
Why?
Sammy Guevara.
Really?
Watching his vlog
Yes.
originally, whenever, and I was like, what are like I'd seen them, but I didn't really know
Yes.
what they were, and now I have a fucking pretty decent collection.
Yeah, that shit kind of matters. Sammy and All Ego Ethan Page were the two vlogs I watched religiously, and I love him. And when he went to WWE, I was like, I'm gonna give NXT a chance because I love Ego. I cannot fucking stand Booker T on commentary. As soon as I hear him, I'm just like, I'm out. It's so annoying. It's so goddamn annoying. He ruins the show for me. It's that bad for me.
Shuggy ducky. Whack. Whack.
It's like nails on the fucking chalkboard. And I can't. I have to like watch it in Espanol or mute it.
Not everyone can be Pat McAfee on the mic.
No, I love Pat
I
McAfee.
fucking love Pat.
I like Michael Cole now that Vince is gone.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things I actually heard about Pat today, is what makes him great on the mic, is he has no repercussions in his mind. Because they could be like, hey, you're in trouble for this. And he's like, fuck you, I'm making $10 million doing this. He's just a natural born fan.
Yeah.
And they've given him that free will. And I think it makes it
It's
amazing.
natural.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's not you don't have someone in your ear like this the whole time while you're trying to talk and then they're trying to tell you what to say.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, it's kind of like the old WWE back in the day where it's like, it's hard for me to relate to a wrestler when there's 20 writers trying to tell them how to speak. And it's like, this doesn't sound natural.
Yep.
And it's like, I can go to AEW and like, if they sink or swim, that's how it is. It's more open, you sink or swim. And like, I think that both places thrive in different situations, and every individual wrestler can thrive at different things. Like,
absolutely.
All Ego Ethan Page would just fit right into the WWE like system and mold, and you could see it's blowing up, paying off.
I don't think it'll be long before he goes to main roster.
No, he's already teased on Raw. He was on Raw like last week.
It's gonna happen, and it's when people switch from brand to brand.
Yeah,
and you see them flourish where they should be.
Yeah,
and instead of being like, oh, I'm just committed to this one.
Well, not only that, but like even if there's nothing wrong, and I am 100% for company swapping like Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
Ricochet has all new life in fucking AEW, and he was in WWE for like almost 10 years, and they didn't really do much with him. They never figured it out. And with wrestling, it always comes down to perception. Lance Archer in AEW. Every time Lance Archer comes into AEW, he is just used as a big, overgrowing like monster that's going to get defeated by a new champ. He's going to come in for 1 week surprise, get like a bunch of wins or two for some jobbers, and then he's going to get a big loss to like a world championship, and he's going to disappear.
Yeah.
And they did that so much that every time Lance Archer comes in, nobody cares because we know the formula, the MO. You've ruined his perception. So it makes sense to take a break, move him to a different company, reassess. That happened to Ethan Page. Ethan Page is a phenomenal guy. He had great matches in AEW. The fucking coffin match with Darby was phenomenal. Men of the Year with Scorpio Sky, they made that work.
Right.
But they made him job out so much that everybody's perception was like, well, if he's in a match, he's just gonna lose.
Yeah. He needed that switch.
Yes.
And you see that. And that's the other thing I love is that now there seems to be a little bit more, flow between the two.
Yeah.
When a wrestler switches and they get to keep the name that's established.
Yes.
And the music is also coming too.
Yes.
I feel like that's huge.
Some of them are very like the Edge situation was genius.
Yo, absolutely. That was done fucking
because he has the rights to it.
Yeah.
It's like he has the rights to it. Like he can come out with a Metal English.
Yeah. And it's not just Vince in the background.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is my toy. No one else can play with it.
Yeah.
The fact that they're realizing that they're not just the only place and they're letting it flow between the two is fucking fantastic.
The way I always envision it now, and even in the Triple H area, WWE is like the Ringling Brothers Circus coming to town. It's a big thing for the kids, an attraction. It's like there's not like yes, there's Cody Rhodes, there's Roman now, there's big names, but if WWE's coming to town, it's like, oh, WWE's in town, let's go check it out. We're not really there because of the fucking like this storyline or this storyline.
Right.
Whereas AEW comes to town, it's more like a punk rock show. It's like an indie rock show. Like, oh, AEW's in town. We should go check that out. It's like a fucking indie rock show. That's the different vibes I get from the different companies.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with it. Just each show has a different cup of tea.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So back to my girlfriend again. I took her to WWE twice, and then I got tickets to AEW, and I had to explain like, hey, this is the difference between the two.
Yeah.
And like she noticed it immediately, but also she liked it just as
Yeah.
much. She, as a complete outsider, she does do the Cody Rhodes. Whoa, now, and it took a little training. She recognized the difference, but also appreciated that they're two different things doing the same thing. It was kind of cool.
So you were at the Dynamite in Tulsa, BOK?
Yep.
So was I, and so I tagged him and he replied back to me on Twitter. It was cool. We got to see Rob Van Dam in a main event coming out to Walk by Pantera. And got to feel that in arena since he hasn't done that since ECW. That was a moment for me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I love about AEW is they go to these different regions and they're like fucking WrestleDream was last night at the time of this taping.
Mhm.
They're in the Seattle, Tacoma, Washington thing. Did you see that roster of matches last night?
Oh, it was
Almost
amazing.
everybody was people that were famous from Defy or Progress or Pro Wrestling Guerrilla or people that did matches in the Seattle, Washington area. And so they were catering to that audience. And so AEW comes to Tulsa, they're gonna get some Rob Van Dam and they're gonna get some people. Jake Hager was on TV and he had a big run in and they know how to cater to the audience of Oklahoma, who's well known here.
That was one of my favorite things whenever because when they first started, it was just basically Florida based.
Yeah.
When they were like, hey, we're going everywhere, I'm like, they're going to fucking use this to their advantage wherever they're at.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I also loved, I'm a huge, I love Saraya, Paige, or whatever you want to call her. But even before Saraya and Harley Cameron were together as the Outcasts, that day at BOK, that was February of this year, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
They were outside just walking around downtown Oklahoma or downtown Tulsa, and they were live on Instagram saying hey guys, here's free tickets to AEW, come see us, and stuff like that. And they were going out hey, we're downtown, come find us. And they were being ambassadors for the brand, just walking around Tulsa. And I'm like, that's fucking cool. When you have employees that are not just doing it because hey, I gotta go to the signing. They're just hey, on my day off or whatever, I'm just here, I'm gonna have fun and be a brand ambassador.
Absolutely.
That tells you that company's doing something right.
They're working for the overall brand, not just their personal brand.
Yes.
They're doing both,
Yeah.
which is huge in that industry.
And I love that WWE's allowing them to do that. Seeing Cody Rhodes on fucking podcasts, fucking Major Brothers and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
That just breaking down that wall and making these are real people. We're not. For the longest time, I hate the WWE wall. If it doesn't exist in WWE, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And we don't play with other people and we act like we're our own separate reality.
I feel like one person that had a major help break through that, Austin Creed with the up, up, down, down.
Yes.
I feel like them letting him be his own person and them seeing how big that could be.
Yeah.
And now they've adapted it, doing his little shows and his podcast and stuff.
I loved when Tyler Breeze got fired and they still kept him on.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I'm here. I don't work here anymore, but I'm still
That
here.
was so awkward, but so funny.
Yeah. And the way that they subtly bring it up whenever they joke.
Or they do the Uno, when they bring they still have Adam Cole or Cesaro, and it's well, they're at the other company, but we still have content occasionally.
Yeah, it's one of those things that hey, we can make money outside of this and still promote the overall brand as well.
Well, that was my biggest thing, and I'm glad Triple H is in charge, and it's slowly coming away. But for the longest time, towards the end of Vince, WWE almost made it feel like they were treating the audience like fucking they're stupid. You're making me feel stupid. I can see point blank that this wrestler's in this company, this wrestler's in this company, but you're telling it in a certain way that you're making me feel stupid by questioning it.
Yeah.
And it lost me. It kind of cut me for a certain point. And it's ugh.
It was that old guard with that forever grip on kayfabe.
Yeah.
We get that you got to believe in it at some point, but also you have to realize that outside of that world, you know, they're all people. They're all friends.
Yeah.
They're all in the same fucking industry. They're gonna know.
Did
each
you
other.
see when the New Day fought the Elite on Tekken? That was so cool.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
They could have fucking sold that as a pay per view.
Yes,
the way that those four work together, I loved it. It's fun.
But I love that shit. And back during COVID, whenever like WWE was harping on everybody get on Twitch and stuff like that, and like shutting all their Twitch channels, and like some of the wrestlers were having breakdowns, like, this is my only outlet. I'm talking to my fans, and now you're taking it away because it's not you're controlling my image.
Yeah, it's because they're not making money off.
Yeah,
of it,
and so it was like you had wrestlers that were breaking down, crying, like, I'm making, like Zelina Vega, I think was one of them or something like that. It was like, I'm connecting to fans and like getting through this really hard time, and we're making the connection and a community, and you're like, oh, we're not making all the money on that. You're not allowed to do that cut.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing I really love. They let her embrace the video game side of things, like with her ring attire
They
and
just
shit
had to
like
catch
that.
up to the technology. And, like, you would think after they fucking failed at what was the fucking fake Vine thing they had? What was the fucking the WWE Vine they had? Tout. WWE had Tout. Do you remember that?
I do not.
Do you remember Vine?
I do remember Vine.
So when Vine was in its heyday, and it was like about a year before it closed, WWE bought like 50% shares in a rival company called Tout, and they had all the wrestlers. So you had like Sheamus doing a tout where he's stealing like somebody's car and stuff like that. And
Swing and a miss on that one, Vince. Jesus Christ.
So it's like, I mean, we're still in the days of the fucking Speed Championship exclusively on X.
I'm not even going to talk about that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like, that's where they reduced Ricochet to. And it's like,
no wonder he fucking left.
well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, even under Triple H's wing, you could have moved him to NXT back to Shawn Michaels. The WWE's perception of Ricochet is, okay, this guy's kind of a loser mid-carder that's never going to break the ceiling. For 10 years, you've told us this guy's a loser. So no matter what you do now, that's all everybody's going to perceive him as. He needs a fresh start. And honestly, that's what happened to Edge.
Oh, absolutely.
They brought him back. They had the Judgment Day. Then they split him off of it and turned it heel. And they almost ruined the Judgment Day with it.
Yeah, it's
like, you took away Metalingus from Edge.
Yeah, not every idea they have is a great idea. And
Let's make a demonic, almost quasi-Undertaker stable with Edge that's not vampire because we're still PG.
And then what? A month into it, they're like, they should turn on him because this was a bad idea.
Yeah. Honestly, the Judgment Day stable surviving as long as it did, and even morphing now to like the Terror Twins or whatever it is now. That is basically the equivalent of a pivot that's so smart. It's like the equivalent of like when Fortnite went to a battle royale. Because in my mind, I still hold this down. Fortnite is the smartest pivot in entertainment history.
I mean, look how much money they made doing a free video game.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, do you remember what it was before? It was Save the World. Save the World was the original idea. It was in developmental hell for like 10 plus years. Originally, it had Cliffy B from Gears of War attached to it. He announced it at an E3. It was like, this is my new concept game, Fortnite. And it was in developmental hell for a while. He left it. And it eventually went out as a fucking beta. And like you could buy the beta discs at Walmart for like $15, and it was still always in like a fucking public beta. And then one day they were just like, "Oh, PUBG, or was it PUBG,
yeah.
And like all that's getting popular. Let's just fucking make a battle royale out of our engine, free game," and it just fucking takes off.
I mean, look at the fact that Call of Duty did the same thing immediately afterwards. Like, oh shit, they're on to something.
And then you know the first thing that they invented, back blings. Fortnite did it because. Team Fortress and stuff had famous hats. You know the problem with that, and I think I talked to you in the group chat. I can't get into first-person shooters a lot because I can't see my character. If Cyberpunk was a third person, I would love that game because it doesn't matter how cool I make my character look if I can't see them.
Yeah, it's so other people can see you when they kill you. I get you.
In Team Fortress, they have this whole fucking inventory and whole like marketplace about making these cool hats for your characters. But it's a first-person shooter, so you never get to see yourself in your fucking hat.
For 5 seconds after you die.
Yes. So Fortnite was like, let's take that concept and move it to their back.
Just pull it back just a little bit.
That's all they did is just rotate it down and make back blings, and all of a sudden they just made billions.
Yeah.
And it's just a simple little tweak, and it makes everything different. And it's this age-old section, like the thing people always said, like, well, why do you play as a female avatar? Well, if I'm going to stare at a character's ass for 3 hours a night, I want it to be a good ass.
Well, the other night, I didn't know how to change it. That's why.
Yeah. Well, that's why Mrs. Incredible is like the #1 skin in Fortnite for the past like 2 months.
You fucking perverts.
They did not even change it. Like everybody, it's an authentic Mrs. Incredible skin with a big ass fucking.
You got that big old dunk on her.
Yeah, she's got a dump truck. And they even make an emote. There's an emote where it's like, you remember in Incredibles, like the spider drone, like the big boss at the end with the big legs? They give you a little mini one, and she can jump on top of it and like ride it remote control. And so she's like pinched up or like hunched up on top of it. And so her ass is just up even more.
Just a little bit of ass hanging out.
Yeah.
They
It's
know,
like, they know what they're doing.
They know how to promote. They know what they're doing.
And then like recently Disney got like a 30% stake into Fortnite or Epic, so like now that's why there's so much Marvel. And
That
DC.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, I noticed whenever we were playing the other night when I learned how to change my skin.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a lot of fucking Marvel characters on
Yeah.
here. And then of course like the new game, like the Iron Man stuff.
Yeah.
The fucking
It's
Doctor
fun.
Mephisto's in there
Yeah.
now apparently.
Although I will say I downloaded the wrong Call of Duty last night. I went through all the skins. Kind of intrigued to see that there's a Rey Mysterio and a Cody Rhodes skin in fucking Warzone.
They have finishers. They have special guns. It doesn't make any fucking
So
sense.
I'm probably gonna buy the Cody Rhodes one, just to be like, whoa, boom.
Yeah, just throw the arms up. That's all it is.
As much as I love Triple H's direction and stuff, the tone deaf quote he gave a couple weeks ago about black wrestlers. Did you hear
I
that?
did not.
It was at the press conference at the end of the last pay per view, and people put it out. They're like, somebody just put out at the press conference. Somebody said something along the lines of like, "Why is it that there's like no black main eventers at all in every pay per view or anything besides like there's been no main event black people or people of color." And Triple H tried to do like basically the line of, like, "I don't see color," or like storyline doesn't say color or something like that. I get what you're saying, but it's a very tone deaf thing to say in
Right.
2024 because it's like basically his point of the thing was like if they're good enough, they're gonna be in the main event.
Right.
And people are like, well, and then people are like, well, do you want Apollo Crews in the fucking main event or something like that? And I'm sitting here like, Bianca Belair has a fucking Fortnite skin and sells a shitload of merch. Is one of the most over women, not men or women, on the roster. And she's a fucking black woman, multi-time champ. You can push her to the moon right now and everybody loves her.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill is coming along the way. They have star power.
They have a reality show now. Her
Yeah.
And Montez. I fucking love Montez.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they're right there, but they're not pushed right now.
Right.
Naomi, as for a long time, had to leave and go to become Trinity.
Right.
Comes back, and they still don't do shit with her.
I mean, the biggest thing is they have that main story that they're trying to push.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see what they do after that. Like,
Yeah.
what's going to be the main
Yeah.
push from that. And I kind of get it, but the way he said it. Probably
But then
was
it's
the
also,
best.
it comes around when you have the other company that just had like a 6-month ring with Swerve, and Swerve was a reject that they let go because they didn't see anything in him.
Which was fucking stupid as shit.
Yes.
So dumb.
Vince fires Swerve and keeps the rest of Hit Row is like, what the fuck are you doing?
And then slowly fired them all off afterwards. So dumb. Swerve was fucking incredible. The pop that he got at that show yesterday was fucking incredible.
You know Lashley's coming in.
Oh, yeah.
They're bringing in the Hurt Business, and
there's
it's so
building
good.
it. Yeah.
But it's like black excellence. Like, bro, like, they're all... Dude, in one night, they just... Again, Shelton Benjamin.
His reveal, so subtle. So he didn't really speak a lot. Just the way they introduced him, let him just bring his presence
And
in.
then last night, during the promo, if you saw him...
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's subtle, he's quiet, and then MVP was not getting the point, and he pushed him aside. He goes, he got real. He's like, you want to fucking go? Like, he's basically like, he just got real. And it's like, in 5 minutes, you just resuscitated Shelton Benjamin's career and perception in wrestling. Because everybody knew he's like a fucking great guy. And like, they talked for 5 minutes about how like he was the gold like he was the guy that Swerve looked up to, and like for a whole generation, like he is a black excellent wrestler that never got his due. They brought Shelton up in that promo. And it's like, that's the kind of thing that has to happen sometimes. Like, you have to give these people fresh starts.
Just that change of scenery is all
Yeah.
they need, just to show a whole new audience.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got talent. I've got potential.
Yeah.
Give me that shot.
Yeah.
And I that's the other thing I like about there being two different options now.
Yeah.
Is when there was just one, there was so much talent but there wasn't enough screen time.
Yep.
To show that now there's two different places, so everyone's gonna get their shine eventually.
I will say though, as much as people think that this is doing so much good things for TNA, I really don't think it is in the long run. It's kind of just becoming a fodder system for WWE, and it's great they're getting the rub between NXT and TNA.
Right.
But do you see this becoming a thing where TNA gets a bigger audience? No. I honestly think that TNA is going to be used just like they were with AEW when like Omega became the Impact champion, and like they had Kenny Omega having like multiple world titles. And he was saying he was on Impact and stuff like that, but that really, at the end of the day, didn't really do anything for TNA.
It's one of those things that, like, I would say probably 80% of the people could tell you what TNA is, but couldn't tell you where or what time to watch it. Yeah. They know what it is. They know who the people are, but they couldn't tell you where or when to tune in.
And then it's also, we're still in this awkward... we're in this thing where I can't take it seriously when you have... Okay... WWE NXT is working with TNA, right? Who's TNA's world champion?
Is it Moose?
No, it's the former Dolph Ziggler, but we can't say it because it's Nick Nemeth.
He just lost it.
I know, but I was like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't mention it. They
Yeah.
wouldn't say the
And
world
that-
champion because it used to be Dolph Ziggler,
Yeah.
and they can't say Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
And it's like that conflict thing. It's like, why is that still a thing? Like, we're so close. Like,
yeah.
can you just break down that and be like, you can make one thing like, and here comes world champion Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler here at WWE or something like that. Like, you could say it in one sentence and break the wall, and be fine.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they're working on, I hope.
But because there's those little things that's just like, bitch, please. It's like, it brings out that thing in me where it's like, for better or for worse, I said it yesterday, I said it on the podcast, I feel like I'm broken. Maybe past therapy, past trauma or something like that. Maybe it's because I want to be a comedian, but if I'm in a situation and I see a rule or something that I can call bullshit on, or I can see that that's stupid, something's broken in me where I don't have a filter. I just be like, that's fucking stupid. And I'm just going to immediately be like, that's so fucking stupid. I'm just going to start making fun of that.
Yeah, that's I'm the same way.
And-
it gets me in trouble sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, you've seen our group chat.
Oh, absolutely. It's a shit show. It is what it is, man.
Well, that's just like, in going forward, this will be in. I'll just say this for anybody that ever wants to come at me or do Facebook drama or any kind of drama to me. This is how I handle every situation. I'll look at the message and go, oh, huh, that's not worth my time. Well, let me reply back and roast the shit out of you real quick and then block. Okay, what else is in my day? Moving on. Do. And that's just what I do. Like, you're not going to get the last word on me. I'll get the last word and block your ass and move on because I just don't care. You're not worth my time, bitch.
Just gotta stop putting your time and energy with people that it's one of those things. Like, we're grown ass adults.
I know.
If you've got a problem, talk to me face to face. Meet me on the microphone, or shut the fuck up.
Yes.
End of story.
And also,
It's very simple.
and also, just be funny.
Yeah, just be funny.
Just be funny.
You can be funny and be an asshole.
Yeah.
We are prime examples of that.
Yeah. I mean, subscribe now.
Yeah. Let us unload your meat.
I went through like thousands of soundboards and I was like, I gotta find something for meat, and I was like the only one I could find.
That's fucking hilarious.
Like, have I ever told you like what unloading meat means?
Mm.
And we're back with Tyler Wick, bro. Thank you so much for not only being here, but also being a fellow Tulsa degenerate, being a friend, a peer, somebody I look up to, someone that's honestly trying to make a huge like breakthrough and push in the scene, not just with your comedy, but also with like your connections and your skills with booking. Like, dude, the fucking Bull and Bear, right?
Bull and Bear.
Bull and Bear Tavern, or Tavern, is it Tavern?
It's Tavern. Bull
Yeah.
and Bear Tavern, 58th in Lewis.
Bull and Bear Tavern is going strong by the time this comes out.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of you, bro. I'm
Appreciate
proud
that,
to
man.
have you as a peer and a friend. Where can everybody find the great Tyler Wick if they want to book you or see you?
So you can find me on Instagram at Tyler Wick Comedy. I'm also on YouTube at Tyler Wick Comedy. I think on TikTok it's TWick1985 because I'm old as shit. Someone asked me the other day, like, is that when you graduated high school? And I'm like, hey, fucker, I'm not that old. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm gonna start doing bookings soon.
Yeah,
hopefully.
man.
I got my first show coming up at the end of the month in Oklahoma City.
Tyler, thank you for being here.
Thanks, man. I'm glad to be here.
Guys, this has been Unloading Meat. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. That's Nyla Rose. That's Tyler Wick. Peace.
I'm loading the meat. 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 I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is.
Bye. Have a great time.